What is up, guys, and welcome back to our St. Louis Blues Fantasy Draft Franchise Mode series. We are in the Western Conference Finals, and we are facing the Anaheim Ducks for a chance to head to the Stanley Cup Final and potentially play our Eastern Conference arch rival, the Washington Capitals. If you'll remember from the fantasy draft video, the Washington Capitals sniped us on several picks, and a guy I was considering to take in the first round, Braden Holtby, went back to the Capitals, and he absolutely tore it up this season in the league. So that's looking a little bit forward. I don't know if we're going to win this series yet, so let's get right into that. And the Caps have to win their series too if we want to see that rivalry matchup. Anyways, we're going to get into looking at the Ducks lines and looking at their playoff performance, and then I will breeze over ours before we get into the simulation. So our offense, 93 to their 90. Our defense loses a point to them, but their goaltending is 6 points higher than ours. Looks like they have Shea Weber on the back end. Maybe I hope that's Shea Weber, and I hope I'm not just naming a completely wrong guy there. So getting into their lines, there's so many menus and so many buttons. Okay, here's their first line. Here's actually all their lines, and it looks like we have quite an advantage in the forward lines. It only gave us 1 point advantage, but it looks like we should have a couple points of advantage. Our first line is better than theirs in that our right winger is much better than Bodker there. They also have Enrique and Hoffman. Our second line's probably very similar to theirs. They got Barchi, Cody Eakin, and Jason Pominville. And then the bottom six is really where we stand out in comparison to their team. We have pretty much 84s across the board, with the exception of Sam Bennett. But they have Kirby Reichel, Rust, and Eves, and then Brad Richardson, Athanasiou, and Lyndon Vey. So their bottom six leads a little bit left to be desired, I guess. Bunch of two-way forwards, though, so maybe they're pretty good defensively in the bottom six, but hopefully we can overcome that and get some depth goals, as that has been key for us thus far. Sniper, two-way forward playmaker, so a good even second line there, and then sniper, two-way forward sniper on the top line. Yeah, so nothing too scary. If anything, we have quite a bit of advantage there. Wow, look at this defensive core. So they started out with Shea Weber, so I was right, he's their best player, 95 overall, and his pair, his defensive partner in John Klingberg is up to an 89. That's pretty crazy. So a 95 and 89 on the top pairing is much better than ours, despite having Erik Karlsson. Their top line destroys ours, and then their second line also destroys our second line. They got Ghost Despair on the left, and the pylon himself, Dion Phaneuf, on the right. So an 88 and 86, once again much better than ours. But their third pairing, Manson and Streit, it's pretty even compared to ours. So their defensive core is what scares me, especially since they have these two offensive defensemen in Ghost Despair and Klingberg, and then Shea Weber, obviously pretty damn good offensively, despite being listed as a defensive defenseman. And then for some reason, Phaneuf has a 4.5-star skating category. That should be a little bit lower, but we're not going to get into that. Going to their goalie, they have Corey Schneider at a 92 overall. So this team, I doubt they give up a whole lot of goals. So that'll be a challenge for us, is trying to get pucks into the net. And their offense doesn't scare me, but their defense and their goaltending definitely does. So they only played 10 games so far. Corey Schneider, nearly a 95% save percentage and a sub-2 GAA. Those are frightening numbers. They're probably going to beat us a couple times this series, like 2-1 or 1-0 or something like that. So I feel like if we can get 3 or more goals in regulation, our chance of winning each game will go up quite a bit. So 10 games played. Deming has not seen any play. So let's check out their points in these 10 games. So their top line, they got 8, 8, and 6. So like I said, they're not terrible. They're a pretty good first line, but they're not quite point a game guys, so nothing too scary. Second line 6-5-4. Third line 3-2-3. Fourth line 4-4-4. So they've been getting a couple of bottom six goals, but nothing really spectacular there. On defense, 7-7, 10-1, and 1-2. So Shane Gostisbehere, good lord, he's the only point a game player on the team, and he's their second pairing defenseman. And their top pair is also putting up quite a bit of points in the postseason thus far. So looking at us compared to them, obviously they have a huge advantage in net. We have Matt Murray, almost 30 save percentage points below that of Corey Schneider, and the GAA above 2, about half a goal a game more than Schneider. So that's a little bit scary in that respect. Looking at our points in 10 games, our top line, quite a bit of a minus there. Forsberg has not been good for us at all, but Toffoli and Draisaitl have been putting up points. So we need to see better defensive play from our top line. Our second line, with 8, 5, and 7, all plus guys. So our second line's been good. 4, 4, and 3, all pluses as well. And then our bottom line, look at this, 6, 7, and 7 points from our bottom line, with insane pluses. So if we go down in this series and we're not playing well, I might move that fourth line up to something like the second line and just shift the other two down. Who knows what we'll see. Hopefully we don't have to take extreme measures like that. Murray 5. Erik Karlsson has been an absolute beast for us. Stupid Sexy Karlsson, the Super Swede. Stupid Sexy Super Swede Karlsson has been insane. 13 points in 10 games. Seidenberg 3, Beaulieu 2. And then Travis Sanheim has also been pretty damn good with 6 points. And Beauchemin added a goal. So yeah, we need to score goals against this team because they're not going to score that much, but their defense could easily keep us off the board. And I don't remember if we have home ice. Yeah, we do have home ice because the top two teams, other than us in the conference, were on their side of the bracket and they lost. So game 1 in St. Louis. Let's get right into it. First period, nothing. So shots are 9-9. Schneider and Matt Murray are keeping goals out of the net, keeping pucks out of the net. Second period, we get 2 goals. That is fantastic. We got one early and one late. Justin Williams and Erik Karlsson both score from the right half boards. So maybe that's the weakness of Schneider. Maybe we just need to get the puck to the half boards on the right side and throw it on the net. I wish you could change the strategies because I would do that. All right, third period. Let's get into it. We're getting outshot by 4. So Matt Murray's coming up big as we get scored on. EA, thank you for not scoring on me there, as I said that Matt Murray was playing well. So it took a little bit of a shot advantage when they had that power play, but we brought it back a little bit. And they get one from Rust. At what angle? Come on, boys, keep them out. Keep them out. Are we going to get a 2-1 victory? I said Anaheim was going to get a bunch of 2-1 victories, and we got a 2-1 win. The shots were even in that game. So, great play from Matt Murray. He outdueled Corey Schneider in Game 1, as both of those guys received a star of the game, and Erik Karlsson with another goal and an assist. Another multi-point game for him. So Karlsson and Matt Murray have been our MVPs thus far in the postseason, despite Matt Murray having somewhat unattractive stats, I guess. They don't really do him justice for how much he's done for this team in our playoff run thus far. In every single win, he's been one of the 3 stars, it seems like. Okay, so Game 2, we're up 1-0 in St. Louis. First period, nothing happened there. Both teams got 12 shots, so same as last game. Probably a little bit of a feeling out process going on in the first period. And Matt Murray and Schneider keep a clean sheet both ways. Second period, nothing again in the second. They're out shooting us by 1, 22-21. So Matt Murray and Corey Schneider, and they scored 40 seconds into the second period. They got one from Eves on the half boards. There's something going on with shots from the right boards this game. Come on, boys, let's get one back, please. Let's not get a shutout in Game 2. Let's not give Corey Schneider a 30-save shutout. And we do. Jeez. All right. They outshot us by 3, outscored us by 1. Corey Schneider, your first star, with a 32-save shutout. Matt Murray, the second star. Pretty damn good performance from him, but once again, like I was concerned with before the series started, we might get shut out a couple games. And there's a 1-0 victory for Anaheim. They've only gotten 2 goals in this series. So have we, but they've only gotten 1 in each game. So we just need to get 2, and we should be good. So their offense isn't spectacular. So we're looking at Game 3 here in Anaheim. We've lost home ice advantage. First period, nothing once again, and another first period with even shots and a scoreless game. So 10-10 in the shots. Once again, Matt Murray and Corey Schneider shutting the door in the first period. Second period, nothing once again. So we have 17 shots to their 21. Goaltenders are just playing out of their mind. We need our forward, and they did it again. They did it again. Pominville scores in the first minute of the third period, and we've been on the penalty kill ever since then. Aginla, nice. Aginla scores probably right as the power play ended, and we got a power play again. Come on, boys, we just need one more. We need to get to that 2 goals in regulation, and we should be good, and we don't get it. So we are headed to overtime. Let's get right into it. We need this overtime, boys. We need to win here and now in Anaheim. Take home ice back. They're out shooting us by 3. Another goaltender duel as their defense and Corey Schneider are playing absolutely fantastic. And we are keeping their weaker forward core off the board. We got a power play in overtime, and we cannot convert. Oh, man, these shot numbers are getting ridiculous. 43 shots for us, 45 shots for them. 1 goal apiece. We are headed into a second overtime. We just need, and Jerome Aginla, Big Dick Aginla. Did he score earlier this game, or was that a different game that I'm thinking about? Aginla scored in the third period of this game and in double overtime. A huge game from Aginla. So the old guy line comes through for us here in Game 3 as Aginla gets 2 goals, and we have home ice advantage now. We've got it back as we've won this road game. They outshot us by 1. We outscored them by 1. Your 3 stars, yep. Matt Murray first star, Corey Schneider second, Jerome Aginla with the 2-goal night as your 3rd star. So Matt Murray is playing out of his mind this series, and Corey Schneider is playing as we expected he would. I guess for the big surprise between those two is Matt Murray's play, especially based on his stats from the first 2 series. Although we know that he played much better than his stats have shown. So the Capitals are up 3-0 on the Lightning in the Eastern Conference Finals. We might end up seeing them in the Stanley Cup Final. Alright, so here we go. First period as we are on the penalty kill. Let's see this penalty kill through. Okay, so you cut off the penalty, started the game poorly. We took 1 early. Alright, first period. No goals once again, although we outshot them. We doubled them up in shots, 12-6. So that's good to see that we are getting shots on net and we're getting past their defense. Now we just need to get past Corey Schneider. Second period. There we go. Erik Karlsson and Philip Forsberg. So the first line decided to show up in Game 4. Their first goal of the series, pretty much. And Erik Karlsson gets his second of the series. And Bodker gets one back for the Ducks, bringing them within striking distance. That was a big goal for them late in the second. So let's get right into this third period simulation. Let's win it now. As Berchi scores for them. I was going to say let's win it now so we can potentially clinch. Thomas Vanek, there we go. I cannot finish my thought as Brian Russ scores from the neutral zone. Jesus Christ, Matt Murray. So I talked you up so much after that last game as you post a 40-something save performance, and then you let one in from the neutral zone. No. So the Ducks tie it up. We're not going to have another 5-game series win. Damn it. So, third period collapse there from Matt Murray. As the Ducks tie the series up. Jeez. Okay, so what I was going to say, that I tried to say that is irrelevant now, was let's win this game now so we can clinch the series in St. Louis in Game 5 once again. But that did not happen as we decided to blow this game. So let's see what their shots look like in that third period. So nothing really spectacular there. We had the better chances than they did based on their shot chart. So that must be the fault of Matt Murray letting in those goals from I mean, I guess from the dot is not a terrible scoring situation, but from the neutral zone definitely is. Um, geez, so we blew that game there pretty much. Uh, so we're gonna have an even series, head back to St. Louis. Not what we wanted to see, but um, from our trip to Anaheim, we did regain home ice advantage. So if we just win our last 2 home games, we are free and clear into the Stanley Cup final. So let's go ahead and get into Game 5, see if the Caps won, and the Capitals did sweep the Tampa Bay Lightning in the Eastern Conference Finals. So if we make it through this round, whoever we play next is going to be rested. They're going to be watching the film from our games, these last couple of games, so they're going to be prepared for us. So we want to get out of this series as quickly as possible. We want to win these next 2 so we can play, so we can give the Capitals as little rest as possible. So let's get into Game 5. Series tied 2-2. We're in St. Louis, first period, and that's the first period goal of the series. Mark Streit gets one from the left half boards. Goals from the half boards have been super popular in this series. Don't know why, but we need to turn around in the second period. We got shot 12-9. So let's just get right into the second period. Dennis Seidenberg gets one from the left half boards on Corey Schneider. So another half boards goal. I don't really understand the simulation and some of the goals and where they're scored from, but oh well. They're outshooting us by 7 though, so we need to step it up defensively and step it up offensively to get those shot numbers back in our favor and try to get one past Corey Schneider. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say other than the fact that we really need this game. If we lose this game, we're going to have to win. God damn it. Fucking Berchi, man. Ribeiro gets one right back. Okay, there we go. So if we don't win this game, we're going to have to win in Anaheim and then at home in a Game 7. So 4 minutes left, 3 minutes left. We're headed to overtime, it looks like, for this game. Another overtime game in this series. They are out shooting the shit out of us. So that period we played poorly, but we did keep it tied, and we are headed into overtime. They're outshooting us by 13 now. So they outshot us by like 6 that period or something. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, so we only got up 6 shots that period. That is terrible. But we're still in the game. We still have just as good of a chance as they do of winning. So let's go ahead and get into overtime. And Justin Williams, the clutch playoff performer himself, on the old guy line. They have been huge this series with 2 overtime goals for us. And we are headed to Anaheim with a chance to clinch this series and head to the Stanley Cup final. Matt Murray, your first star once again. Thomas Vanek, 2 assists. Justin Williams, 3rd star with that game-winning goal in overtime. So yeah, Game 6 at Anaheim. We really need this game, boys. Our win now strategy has worked thus far. Let's take that one more step in this game and head to the Stanley Cup playoff final. I worded that weird, but who cares? First period in Anaheim, they get 2, so they get 2 goals from their defense. Klingberg and Manson, 1 early and 1 late. Outshot by 5, so we put ourselves in a hole early on the road in a potential closeout game. Not a clutch performance thus far for us. Second period, we get nothing. Getting outshot by 10, so Corey Schneider's posting a shutout thus far, 14-shot shutout through 2 periods. So third period, we're going to need a miracle here to get 3 past Schneider in 1 period. Power play is a good start. There we go. Thomas Vanek on the power play. There's that second line, probably the second unit. I don't remember if he's on the second power play unit, but we're still severely... Verbata, 4th line goal. There we go. We're still severely being outshot. But we have tied it up late in the 3rd. All right, another overtime game. Another overtime game. I'm going to take a sip of water before this. Game 6 on the road, being outshot by 14. Down 2 headed into the 3rd period. We come back. We have forced overtime. Let's see who's going to be a hero. Somebody's going to be a hero, and it's going to be somebody that's played in this game, as Doc says in EASHL when you go to overtime. Still getting outshot by 13. Power play, nothing. Okay, shit. So they get momentum from that penalty kill. Still being outshot by fucking double digits. 1 minute left. Alright, we're headed into a second overtime. Once again, last time this happened, Jerome McGinley got the goal for us. So it's going to be from the old guy. Well, nope. The old guy line has not scored yet in this game. We got Van Dijk and Verbata. Both old guys, but they're not on the old guy line. We got a power play goal and a fourth line goal. But Matt Murray, they've got 50 shots on net so far in this game. And Matt Murray is keeping us in it. That's great to see. So if we win this game, all credit will be to Matt Murray. Let's go to the second overtime and see what we can do as Klingberg scores. God, shit. All right, we're headed to a game 7. Matt Murray with 50 saves. You can't really blame him for this game whatsoever. He might even be the first star, actually. Nope, Klingberg with 2 goals. That's right. Okay. Okay, so Corey Schneider had just a little bit worse of a save percentage than Matt Murray, and obviously a much better GAA. So did the math a little bit wrong in my head there, but that's okay. Matt Murray was still one of the 3 stars, and it's disappointing, man. We needed a clutch performance there, and we came back and we were almost super clutch, but we blew it. So we're going to 7 games, as the scouting assignment absolutely interrupts all momentum that I had going there. Just go to the SHL, man, whatever. I don't even care. Alright, game 7. Game 7. We need to win this game. We do not want all of our old guys to go out without a cup in their hands, without the Stanley Cup. We're going to have quite a few guys retire after this season, more than likely, and we don't want to lose all of those guys for nothing. Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals. I'm nervous, man. I'm nervous. I don't want this whole season to go to waste. First period. Okay, so we scored our first period goal of the series in Game 7. No better time to do so, other than, you know, any of the other games in the series. But Nick Bonino gets one 2 minutes in, and Bodker ties it up 6 minutes later. We're out shooting them by 5 through the first period, so Corey Schneider's keeping them in it thus far. Second period, once again, still tied headed into the third period. Aginla gets one, and then Klingberg from the left half boards. Man, goals from the left half boards, I do not understand why that's a thing. So we're out shooting them by 11. Outshooting them by 11. So we're getting past their defense once again. We just need Matt Murray to have a huge third period here. We just need to sneak one past Corey Schneider to win this series and head to the Stanley Cup final. Let's just get right into it, man. Just get right into it. 8 times, obviously. So we need to see some good play. Power play. There we go. There we go. That's all we need is power play, and we do not get one. But Marlowe gets one right after the power play. Outshooting them by 15. Come on, boys. Keep it up. We don't need to turtle. We do not need to turtle. Keep up the offensive pressure. Keep putting pucks on Corey Schneider here late. 3 minutes left, 2 minutes left, 1 minute left, and we got a power play. Yes! We're headed to the Stanley Cup final, boys. We are headed to the Stanley Cup final, where we will face our arch rival, the Washington Capitals. Alright, so that series, very, very close series. Pretty much every game, if not every game, was decided by 1 goal. It went the distance. We had several overtime games, a couple of double overtime games, and the old guy line came up huge that game with Marlowe and Aginla both getting goals. And Matt Murray was another second star performance. Dude was insane this series. Dude was absolutely insane. So let's go look. I'm actually going to go to the calendar to see the scores for each of the games. I think every single game was 1 goal. Let's find out. Yeah, 2-1, lost 1-0, 1-2-1, lost 4-3, which that was a super high scoring game for this series. Another overtime win, 3-2, overtime loss 3-2, and another 3-2 win. So every single game decided by a meager 1 goal, a measly 1 goal. Super close series, just like I expected it to be. A couple of 2-1 games, a 1-0 game, but quite a bit of 2-2 games that went into overtime. And we came out victorious. So let's check out the sweet Stanley Cup graphic down here. Stanley Cup final graphic with the St. Louis Blues and the Washington Capitals, our arch rival based on the fantasy draft. I'm going to see how the season series turned out between us and the Caps. Get through the playoffs. So we beat the Oilers in 5, beat the Wild in 5, beat the Ducks in 7. Looking for the Capitals. Looking for the Capitals. Did we even play them this season? Come on now. Okay, we played them here January 19th. Got a 5-2 victory. Dominating performance there. And then a 2-1 loss at the Caps here on November 23rd. Did we only play them twice this season? I'll go through it again just to make sure. So if we only play them twice, we split the series 1-1. They got an overtime. We got an overtime loss, and we got a regulation victory. So yeah, right there's the other game. Okay, so that's that. Split the season series 1-1. Each team won at home, but we took them to overtime. They've only lost one game so far this postseason, so they're looking like a juggernaut. And we're coming off a long 7-game series with a bunch of overtimes. Hopefully our old guys can find their legs here to make one last push for the Stanley Cup. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please like and please subscribe so you can check out the next video when it comes up as we play the video where we will be playing the Capitals for the Stanley Cup. Leave comments below, and tune in next time to watch us win the Stanley Cup and send the Washington Capitals, our arch rival, send them home packing.